Okay, folks, I found this in a council cleanup, or a cleanup. Someone's left stuff on the side of the road. This one's come up looking interesting. Let's see if we can make it look good. It's going to be a tricky one. Let's see if I can make it, yeah. Fuck, I hate when this user interface does that. It's not an easy user interface, this one. I do find Konica Minolta did a bad job of this. They're not caring about how they make their equipment. I want to change the way photocopiers are made and designed from very scratch. I do believe they need a rethink, and one of the rethinks is the hardware and the software. Both of them. The hardware should last 60 years, and it should be made from recycled materials, and it should be made easy to recycle, and pretty much it. And there's got to be less plastics. This is what we're photocopying, folks. This birthday candles in a jar. But basically the hardware's got to last 60 years, and it's got to basically be easy to recycle, and it's got to be made out of less plastics, more metals, and we've got to make sure we might make our equipment out of mostly recycled materials, like from places like China and India, who have a serious waste problem, especially an e-waste problem. All this toxic electronic waste going to be dumped, and the water cannot be drunk, the crops cannot be made, you cannot have crops or drink the water, so it's not really nice. And that's come up looking quite interesting down there. It looks interesting. So basically, yeah, we've got to really make a rethink of this equipment, and we've got to build these equipments out of recycled materials whenever we can, instead of mined materials. Instead of ripping it out of the ground and wasting precious resources, we just clean up the rubbish tips of the world. And even in Australia, we could do with a helping hand cleaning up as well, not just places like China and India. And the software's got to be totally changed. They just keep running what's called legacy software, the old software from the past, basically, and they just change the look and the feel, but they don't give you any new features. There's nothing exciting, there's nothing new. And I do believe these machines need artificial intelligence for starters. We need artificial intelligence, and we need features that we can upgrade, that we can choose. Like, if you can imagine an app store for the photocopier, like your Google Play and your Apple, what do they call it? Apple iTunes, like an iTunes or a Google for the photocopier. So something different, something that you can upgrade it. You can choose the features you want, and the features on the photocopier that are factory made are just minimal. I just didn't do that properly. Stupid thing. It's a tricky one. So yeah, the features, you just pay for the features that you want. You don't want to have them pre-installed like they are. And they don't change anyway, so. But basically, yeah, you gotta. So imagine if you could, when you buy a machine, for example, you might start off with the basic model, the base model, and it may only have, say, the basic stuff, the enlargement, the reduction, the features like whatever, folks, just like the image shift, mirror image. No, not those ones. Just trying to think, like double-sided and single-sided and all that sort of stuff. The real basic stuff is what we need to keep on the factory. But the other features, you just pay a small price, not a big price, and you just install them off an app store, basically. So we've got to really think about changing the photocopier, making it more greener and cleaner for the environment. And also the hardware, we've got to have less plastics, as I was saying, because plastic is really not it's not even a nice material. And it's nice to minimise plastics as much as you can, because we've got too many of them. And it'd be nice if we can make these equipments mostly out of metal. Metals like the inside chassis, the actual chassis will be made out of titanium, so that it'll really last. It won't rust or it won't break. It'll just be a really long-lasting, rugged piece. And on the outside, even the external cladding, we will do away with the plastic. And there's 4 different materials I'm proposing for this equipment. One of them being aluminium, titanium, stainless steel, and a high-tech material which is not a metal but a ceramic called ALON. Aluminium, oxygen and nitrogen, they call it. That's how it stands for. And they often refer to it as transparent aluminium, because it's like that, but it's actually a ceramic. And it's a really like a see-through, funky material, and I'd like to see that on photocopiers, to have that kind of exciting, funky sort of finishes that you can buy for your photocopier if you want to spend extra money on it, if you're really a fashionista about equipment, about tech. And of course you can get aluminium in different colours, like what they call anodized aluminium, just think Steve Jobs's iPod minis coming in all these different funky colours. Well, that's a similar thing for this proposed photocopier. I don't know if I like these pieces, really. I don't know why I'm not getting as much of a... I do think maybe we can move it around. I think the first one turned up looking quite interesting. But yeah, I just want to change the way the photocopier is made. I want to make it exciting. I want to make it new. I want to make it different. Something that people would really want to enjoy, that people could enjoy as much as use, that it's not just a fucking workhorse in the office. It's something exciting that you could look forward to using every day you go to the office. Every day you go to the office, just enjoy. And it's going to have artificial intelligence and voice guidance. So you say, you tell your photocopier what you want, and the photocopier completes the task. Just like we have AI all over the place. We've got a lot of AI floating around, so it should be easy to apply it to a dumb equipment like a photocopier, because basically people are using it to make music, people are using it to do this and do that, and it's really taking off now. And basically I see that the photocopier could be theoretically an easy application to make use of AI. It shouldn't be that hard at all to make a photocopier that uses AI to make adjustments and optimizations and make them easier for the people to use their features. So basically the AI will come as standard, factory standard, like the enlargement and the double-sided copying and that. That'll come and it'll automatically slot in with the material, with the equipment, the apps that you buy online. It'll automatically slot in. And that's come up looking quite interesting. It looks much the same. I think we could utilise this one. I like this bit here. I do wonder if maybe I should cut that out and make that into something interesting. But basically, yeah, there's just got to be a way that photocopiers can be better designed and better thought out. The way it's going now, it's really a dead-end street. Like there's no one doing anything exciting in the field. There's no one out there who's capable of it, and it just seems pointless. And we all have this legacy software that really is getting a tad bit boring for the likes of myself, who in the 90s used to enjoy seeing new equipment with new features, and now it's like, what the fuck? No more new features. No more new features now. They don't have any interest in maybe. And I think there are certain types of people that were making these new features and they got made redundant. They're called toner heads. Toner head is a word to describe a photocopier nerd or geek, and they make the best R&D people. They make the best people in the industry, but they're not being allowed in the industry, if you get what I'm getting at, folks. They're not allowed. They probably cost to the company, they probably cost too much to employ. They're too much of a high quality person. Like myself, they wanted to make a difference and now they can't. They've been made redundant. Oh, you're too overqualified, that sort of thing. And I think it's that kind of thing. Without me actually being there, without me actually being in there in the midst when this shit was happening. This happened around 1997, 1998, I do believe. And it's a real horrible thing that was done to make these people fucking redundant instead of allowing them to be who they are and just let them be toner heads and give them place to experiment in that. So yeah, it's really horrible the way they've been treated and abused by the stupid corporate suits, the idiots, the fuckwits, who don't care about the quality of the equipment, they don't care about the hardware or the software, they just want to make a quick fucking dollar. Like the man behind this company, Shoei Yamana. He's a dickhead, he's a fuck. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know how to make a good photocopier system. He doesn't. He's a shit. He's a fuck. You know, I have no respect for any of those corporate fuckers. You know, toner heads don't even work. So there can't be an R&D lab when nothing's happening here. So, you know, there's nothing new, just new hardware so that it gets replaced, so that the machines break and you can't repair them. Oh, surprise, surprise, how clever. Built-in obsolescence, that's been going on since the beginning of when, folks? And it's really not nice. It's not good for the planet. And it's really wasteful. This photocopier is on its way out, even though it hasn't. I'm still getting the service agreement, fortunately, but it's probably any moment it'll probably be off service agreement because it's just getting old. It's 5 years old, and that's how long a typical photocopier typically lasts when it comes to spare parts. Now I'm trying to make this look really nice, folks. I'm having a bit of trouble with this one. I think that's as close as we can get to the edge as we can. But yeah, I really get so exasperated with the way the industry's become so money fucked, so shitty, that people like myself can't do anything to make a difference because we've been locked out of the industry. We have been, folks, locked out. There's no passion, there's no soul. The industry's full of shit, full of assholes, full of everything that it shouldn't be. And you just can't change it. So you have to fucking, well, it's their fucking problem. Something's got to happen. So, but these bitches in the industry who run the industry are now fuckwits. They're fucktards. We don't have anyone clever enough to make the photocopier a better piece of kit. It's just a piece of shit, basically. Yeah. So I'm just going to make this. I don't know how this is going to work, folks. This is going to be shit. Don't know how this is going to work. And you know, most of the money I earn, I want to give to helping others. You know, to help others in the need, people who are not as well off as I am, or as blessed as I am, if that's the right word, or as happy. So people less fortunate have got to benefit from those who are fortunate, not bloody have the fortunate people hoarding money for themselves and saying me, me, me. It's not fucking about that. It should never be about that. It should be about what can be done to help others, what can be done to help the environment. You know, it's got to be a fucking, you got to think, you know, think properly and act. And that's come up looking quite interesting. I think we can now call this demo quits.